Reinhard Wolski, General AD, has joined us. Welcome. Good morning to the world, Mr. Wolski. Ground offensive. What is even conceivable there? Is it really the case that what has been assembled by the Israeli military at the border with the Gaza Strip will roll massively towards Gaza City? First of all, good morning, Ms. Mosul. Good morning, Mr. Klug. And from the authorities' perspective, we stand with your train and we stand with Israel regarding the ground offensive. It is quickly discussed, but Israel will not conduct a ground offensive alone. They have already announced that they will conduct an offensive from the sea, air, and ground, which we refer to as multi-domain. I assume that target reconnaissance is still being conducted very carefully until a decision is made to launch an offensive that takes place in all 3 dimensions. No, in 4 dimensions, because the cyber information domain is also included. The Israelis are very strong in that aspect. Then, possibly, an offensive will start. You mentioned target reconnaissance. How concrete can that be understood? What is even possible when it is heard that Hamas can hide in underground systems? How can that be clarified in advance? I assume that Israel continues its reconnaissance over the years. The attacks by Hamas have been going on for years, if not decades, and they also emerge from these underground fortified bunker installations. They have technical means there, and they certainly conduct reconnaissance and maintain target files over the years. Knowing where possible tunnels, hiding places, headquarters, and launch facilities may be. But that needs to be updated because Israel, and we can see this again, is under pressure due to shifts in strategic communication to minimize civilian casualties as much as possible. And now we can see that this part will also be part of the reconnaissance, despite being presented to non-military personnel like us. Can you explain it to us once again? Because one can assume that Hamas does not operate centrally, but in small operational units. So, what Israel is currently doing, these targeted strikes on bases, is not actually part of the offensive, or will it not also be part of the offensive? What is the use of this massive force, from the air, sea, and land? Well, we will see how Hamas behaves. They will naturally defend themselves against these battles. I can imagine that Israel will also proceed on the ground with small groups and carefully locate Hamas according to their reconnaissance results. We will have to see how the battle unfolds. It is a built-up area, the most challenging type of combat, and it is very laborious. We have seen this in Ukraine as well. Israel will conduct the battle against Hamas groups very carefully, possibly also in smaller groups, says Rainer Wolfski. Thank you very much for this conversation. Buckshot. If you